Hi, this is Ned Siegfried from Siegfried & Jensen. As proud sponsors of BeliefCast, we hope you are inspired by Todd's weekly podcasts, which contain so many courageous stories of recovery and personal growth. Remember, it's not what happened in the past that matters, it's what happens in the future. We invite you all to work hard and be optimistic about your future. Enjoy today's podcast.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Todd Sylvester with the Todd Sylvester Inspires BeliefCast. Thank you for tuning in once again. I love you guys. Thank you for believing in me. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Siegfried & Jensen, Wasatch Recovery, Veracity Networks. You guys are the best. Thank you for believing in me. It means more than you'll ever know. And I want to thank all the listeners. Thank you for tuning in. You guys are what makes this work. And I hate to say this even out loud because it almost sounds like I'm being over dramatic, but this saves lives. It saves lives. And the guests I've had on, it's because of them. And I want to thank all of the guests that have been on previously. And I want to thank our current guest here today. I'm so excited to introduce to you McKenna Brown. McKenna, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Wow. And I'm telling you, McKenna is a ball of energy, and I feel it the second I met her. And it's been great so far. And so thank you for being here. I know you drove a long way to be here, but I love what you do. And I want to give a little background on you. You're a wife and mother of 4, and you were Miss Utah in 2014.
Yes,
so that's
I
really
was.
cool.
Yeah.
And that's not an easy thing, meaning that's a lot of hard work and preparation.
Yes.
Right? And I want to talk more about that in a
Yeah,
minute.
absolutely.
So you're the owner and creator of My Wonder Woman Journal and 3 other break-off journals as well. And I've got the journal right here. And I feel like a powerful woman right now, to be honest with you. As I
like it.
But this is beautiful. We're going to talk about that. McKenna's had her own struggles with mental health as she has turned her pain into purpose, which I love. She's now a mental health advocate and helps women of all ages, girls through retreats and programs she has created to help them see and recognize their strengths within them through journaling. And we're going to talk about why that's so important.
Absolutely.
And you run a blog on these topics. You keep the conversation going, and you're trying to break the stigma of mental health. And this is one of the reasons why I love McKenna. My daughter showed me a couple videos of you and just having fun about mental health. And I was like, who is this woman? and for those that know you, we're like, yeah, she's amazing. But you guys, we'll get to know a little bit more about that. You believe that owning your story and embracing who you are helps us step into the power and purpose. And then we'll mention at the end how you can get a hold of McKenna.
Absolutely.
Owning your story. You know, I was at the Utah State Prison, and I heard one of the inmates say, if you don't own your story, it owns you.
Oh, that's powerful.
Yeah, and
that's
so
beautiful.
I love that you have that on there. So.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, you're the best.
Thank you so much.
So why don't we start off, for those who don't know you, let's just get to know you a little bit. Where did you grow up, and a little bit about your family?
Okay, so I grew up in Provo, Utah, and I still live about a mile from where I grew up.
Oh, that's nice.
I promise I get out. We love to travel.
Yeah.
I live in a bubble of Happy Valley, and we love it. We are currently there. We reside there, and I'm the youngest of 4.
Okay.
And I have 3 girls and a boy, 4 kids, and like you said, I've had my own struggles with mental health, and it really came to light through birthing children.
Yeah. Yeah, and I want to get to that. Going back to your childhood, though, absolutely. I mean, you're very passionate about what you do. You have a lot of energy. I think people might say, oh, she's just so confident, positive. Yeah. Have you always been like that? Were you like that as a little girl as well?
I have always been a ball of energy. I used to get teased a lot. You're too much. You're too this. You're too happy. And I always tried to suppress it, but it always comes out. And I've learned to just embrace that over the years, to just be who I am. I have a lot of energy. I'm very spazzy. And I feel that owning my story has really helped me step into, who I am. But through my childhood, yes, I was the youngest by far. I have a 10-year-old. I'm 10 years apart, 9 years apart, 7 years apart from all my siblings.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I felt I did have a great childhood, but I had a father, I have abandonment issues, and all of these things that I suppressed as a child that we're taught to run away from. Don't dwell on the past. Don't dwell on the past. Yeah. It wasn't until I was an adult where I related to an arrow that I felt like I had to be pulled back in order to fly. And I did have to go back and heal a lot of my inner child. And I've been doing a lot of inner child work. Okay. And that's been a huge part of my mental health journey, is when I felt like I didn't have a voice. I didn't feel like I was ever taken seriously. I felt like, you know, I spoke too much. And to answer your question, I've always been energetic and confident.
Sure.
I've always been confident to speak up, but my true insecurities were socially speaking. Did I speak too much? Did I talk too much? Was that inappropriate? And that was kind of the con to being confident, was socially I had some anxieties that I didn't really address.
Right. Did you ever get were there like a group of kids growing up like in high school and stuff? Because you know how kids can be at times judgmental.
Absolutely.
And that kind of thing. Did you go through any of that where kids were like, McKenna, you know? Or, you know,
I was a cheerleader. I think that was pretty, I'm sure people could guess that.
You can hear it in her voice for sure.
I'm still a great cheerleader for people. I love cheering people on.
Sure.
But in high school and even in my adulthood, people misunderstand me or misjudge me, I should say, that I'm fake or stuck up or if I'm not nice enough and I'm quiet, then I'm stuck up. So I always tried to make other people feel comfortable because of the judgments that people put on me.
Right.
And in high school, I didn't really have a group. I was friends with everybody. So everyone thought I was friends with everyone, but really I felt really alone. And I was really had social anxiety. But nobody, I had one of my retreats, someone from high school say, I always wanted to be friends with McKenna. I thought she was friends with everyone and she was so popular. And I said, it's so crazy. We just don't ever know what other people are going through. Because in high school, I felt like an odd man out.
Wow.
But on the outside looking in, everyone thought, and I think that really rolls into everybody's life. We just don't have any idea what any other people are going through. We kind of touched on that before we got started.
We did, yeah.
That in high school, this girl goes, oh yeah, I really wanted to be friends with McKenna Brown, McKenna Quay, and I wanted to do this. And I thought, wow, I just never felt like I fit in or belonged.
Yeah.
Even though on the outside I did look like I was.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point you make, McKenna, that you know, if we can just understand this simple concept that everyone's got something that they're struggling with.
Absolutely.
And we're more alike than you think. So,
oh yeah,
you know, here's everyone looking at you. Oh, she's so popular.
Yep.
She's got all these friends. But if they knew what you were really going on inside, they'd be like, man, she's struggling just like I am.
Yeah. Well, and someone said, oh, I got this. I've had this statement a lot in my life, and I don't want to say it triggers me, but it almost motivated me. And the comment is, McKenna, you have it all put together. And in high school, McKenna, you have it all together. You've never had a rough life. And nobody in high school, my mom remarried a very successful man. We lived in a very elaborate neighborhood. And on the surface, I looked like I'd never really gone through hard.
Right.
And if I were to tell you what my childhood looked like, you know, I grew up without a father. My mom worked 3 to 4 jobs. She would feed us before she'd fed herself. She'd go days without eating.
Really?
We lost our home. We moved in. We were homeless. You know, we moved in with my grandparents, and then it was a Cinderella story. But when I tell people that, they go, oh, I didn't realize that you actually had a lot more struggles, because you don't really share them. You just act like everything's okay. And I think what's amazing in society is when it rolled over into adulthood, into neighborhood. I always do this sign, you know, like my hands are clasped together, like, oh, Stepford wife, everything's put together. Everything's great. Right. And I tell women when I start to speak, like, oh no, I have my own mental health struggles. And again, that's what motivated me to speak out and share my story, is that I don't have it put together.
Right.
And here's my story, and here's how we can relate.
Right. Wow. Yeah. And again, I think that's pretty common. I think that we all kind of do that. We see people even on social media.
Absolutely.
Oh, they look like they've got it all put together.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I've had a lot of high level people on this podcast and what's so cool is they come on here and they just get vulnerable and they talk about, man, this is what I've gone through.
Right.
And that's what's been so wonderful about this, is that, and here you are. I mean, I've followed you on Instagram and in your social media, and you're passionate, and I love it. But you're also very real. So let's jump ahead just a little bit. You said you really. Well, let me ask you this: did you seek help at that time? Did you ever tell your mom, man, I've got anxiety? I don't. Or maybe
it was kind of a joke, because I feel like everyone in our family, I'm laughing because if they're gonna listen to this and laugh, we all joke, oh yeah, we've got anxiety, you've got OCD, and we all just like laugh it off. Oh, anxiety. We're never taught, you know, in our minds, maybe or maybe not, maybe these, who's listening, they don't think this, but they think seeking help is weakness. Asking for help is weakness.
Yeah.
And my perception has changed substantially over the last couple of years, that seeking help is strength.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that you are strong, but
Yeah.
you don't have all the answers is humbling, but also empowering that, wow, there are so many resources around us that it is
Yeah.
not weak to seek help and be open to options.
Yeah.
I was so closed-minded, and I thought, wow, educating myself has really put me where I am today, because I couldn't make an educated decision without educating myself on my options.
Exactly.
And that really, we were just taught, you don't do this, you don't do that, only because that's what they were taught.
Yeah.
My mom and everyone,
Sure,
and
yeah.
they're great people. It's through
Yep.
generations that we're learning that it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. It's okay to struggle.
It's okay to struggle. It's
Yeah.
okay to say, I'm having a hard day.
Yeah. I know you do a lot of speaking to a lot of younger kids and,
Yeah.
and women and girls specifically.
Yeah.
What are the common things you're hearing from these girls, and what are they struggling with as
Yeah.
you go about doing this?
It's insane when I leave. I get goosebumps, because these girls, the pressure that humans, even as
Yeah.
moms, as fathers, as human beings, the pressure that we're feeling, the pressure that this younger generation coming up, what they're feeling,
Yeah.
the perfectionism. Think of us as adults with fully developed brains, if you will, that there's newly developed brains that are trying to navigate the world and where
Yeah.
they're going, pressures of grades, pressures to look a certain way. I'm like, you guys never went through an awkward phase. Like,
Right.
there was no awkward phase. Like, if you could only
Yeah.
see me trying to use a flat iron in junior high, like, these girls are just, the pressures to be the, that's where I hear, like, I get messages from
Yeah.
girls saying, I tell them I'm a safe space. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I'm a safe place. And if
Yeah.
I don't have the answer, which I will always help you find the answer.
Right.
So I will
Love
get
that.
messages. Hey, you came and spoke to us this morning. I was planning on ditching math class because I didn't think I was going to get an A. So I thought I might as well just not take the test.
Right. Yeah.
But you told me my best is good enough. So I took the test, and I'm really
Nice.
proud of myself for showing up.
Yeah.
And that made me cry. That's
man.
something, feeling like your best is good enough. That's what these girls need to hear. That
Yeah.
perfectionism is the enemy. It's unattainable. It's not even realistic. It's
Right.
not even
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
and the filters and all the things, trust me, I use filters, trust me, like we all do. But, the no understanding that you're beautiful with and without. You're
Yeah.
okay not getting straight A's. You're okay. Your best today might be different tomorrow, and your best tomorrow is going to be different today. And knowing, I said, you might feel sick today or might not get a lot of rest. So your best tomorrow might not be as good as today, but don't compare yourself to yesterday than to
Yeah.
today. I don't
Yeah.
know that's
Love
a
it.
rambling, but that's what I hear from these girls. Like, thank you for allowing me to
Yeah.
be okay just the way I am.
I love it. Well, that's you owning your story,
Yeah.
making an impact on these girls.
I hope so.
Well, so you said when you had 4 kids,
Mhm.
and then you went through some postpartum depression
Yeah.
on a very severe level,
Yep.
and anxiety was still, struggling with that. Talk about that experience, if you would, and let our
Absolutely.
listeners know how hard that was and
Yeah.
what it was like.
For me, it was like a pot of boiling water, and it was on simmer, but it just kept trying to boil over, and I kept trying to turn the simmer down. So I explained it like I was just drowning, trying to live to the next moment.
Was this after each child, or was it after the last one?
It was after
or-
this last one,
Okay.
but I will say that anxiety and depression and childhood trauma, or just trauma, if you don't handle it straight on, it doesn't ever go away. There's parts of your body and mind that need to heal. And if
Okay.
you don't heal, it manifests in its own way. And
Yeah.
for me, that manifested in anger. I was just an angry mom.
Mm.
And I just thought that was my new normal. I just thought that that's who I am, but I was just angry all the time. I would snap. I was highly controlling about what my kids would wear, how their hair was
Right.
made.
Yeah.
And I was very obsessive compulsive with schedules, and I
Okay.
still am. But if anything went
Yeah.
wrong, it stemmed anxiety, which triggered me into depression. And so those things weren't getting addressed. And
Okay.
then when the hormone imbalances come into play,
Yeah.
I would say after my third, everything was great. I didn't suffer as bad, but after my second, I did, but it wasn't as severe.
Okay.
So I always tell women, just because you don't want to shake your baby, or you don't want to run into oncoming traffic, or you aren't contemplating suicide, doesn't mean you're not struggling.
Yeah.
So when I look back, I think, wow, I wish I would have known that all of these signs were actually postpartum maternal mental health that needed to be addressed, and I never addressed them. So when the 4th came, that's when everything kind of came to a head. We had trauma in the family with my sisters. I actually went into labor because my sister-in-law found out her cancer had spread. And it really triggered me, and I actually went into labor. So if there is trauma before you have a baby, that does trigger your mental health as well.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So a lot of things were going on. And I just thought, okay, if I'm working out and I'm eating healthy and I get meal plan and I get obsessive about, I'm just going to do everything I possibly can.
Right.
And I think God
you try to be perfect.
Yeah, you try to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm just going to do my part. And I think God wants us to understand that sometimes our part is just letting him, like, sitting in the hard.
Yeah.
And just sitting and pausing.
Love that.
Sometimes right after a pause, a miracle will happen, and pause will take us to where we need to go. And we're so busy that he's just like, take a breath and pause.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that that's also doing our part too.
Yeah.
Is asking what we need to do. What
Right.
and I wouldn't pause. I wasn't pausing, and so it just kept manifesting in rage. And till one day I just snapped.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I needed the help I needed, and unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for that journey, because I want to share with not just women and children and men as well that you don't ever need to let it get to that point.
Yeah.
There is help, and to be aware of our mental state is crucial to our mental health.
Right.
And that's why I talk about embracing the hard.
Yeah.
Being aware of how we're feeling is actually the first step, I think.
I like that. So, so you noticed that you were depressed and down after the 4th on a level that you hadn't felt before. It was pretty severe.
Yeah.
Did you try to just keep that to yourself for a while?
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, but did your husband and other family members notice, like, hey, what's up with
my
McKenna?
husband? Definitely.
Okay.
He even tried to set up therapist appointments, and I met the therapist. I didn't really like her.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't say I didn't like her. She's great. We just didn't quite connect the level that I needed or felt that I needed.
Yeah, sure.
And he definitely noticed and was worried.
Mm-hmm.
But he's learned a lot too.
Yeah.
Talking to my husband about the stigma and perspective that our journey has taken us,
right,
really helped him, because he's just like, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. But we both just didn't have the tools.
Right.
So it wasn't until the day I drove myself to the behavior hospital, I threw a chair against the wall and broke it.
Oh, wow.
Talk about Wonder Woman moment. Didn't realize how strong I was.
Yeah, right. Wonder Woman.
Threw a toy tramp down the stairs. And I actually remember, I didn't know postpartum rage was a thing. And rage in mental health, not just postpartum, is a thing.
Yeah,
it's real. It manifests in anger.
Yeah.
And I remember feeling so angry one day. I was holding my new baby on my hip, and our bathroom door and our pantry door, like not pantry door, but our like linen closet touch. And I just started banging the doors together. And then I actually broke the door handles. Oh, wow. And they're still broken. But I remember I was so scared to tell my husband, because he, bless his heart too, he was thinking, I can't live like this anymore. Is our marriage going to last? Yeah, right. I can't live in this type of turmoil.
Right.
So.
Wow. So then eventually you got to this point where you're at now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing what you're doing now.
Oh, thanks.
How did you make this transition, and how did you get to where you're at? I mean, you're out speaking to other women, helping them, empowering them. We're going to talk about this journal here in a minute. what was the transition?
The transition.
Yeah. How did you do that?
So the weekend after I had driven myself to the hospital was Monday, and my neighbor came out, and she's so amazing. But again, we put on this persona that everything's great.
Right.
So the moment I realized that this is something that needs to be shared, is she came over, kids were playing, and she said, "Hey, McKenna, how was your weekend?" And I said, without a beat, I said, "Oh, it was great. I drove myself to the behavior hospital. How was your weekend?" And she was like, wait, what?
She said, "What did you just say?"
Yeah. And I kind of laughed, because I think I'm funny. And I'm just like, oh, get it? Like, I lost my mind. And she's like, "Oh my gosh."
You're so funny.
She's like, but then we had this moment where we were laughing, and then she kind of looked at me and teared up, and she said, "I want to share something with you." And she told me that she locked herself in her pantry door with a pile of pills and wanted to kill herself last week.
Whoa.
And it was this connection
that
we hugged each other and embraced each other. We didn't say, gave each other advice. We were just there for each other.
Yeah.
And it was me sharing my story that made her feel comfortable to share her story, and to realize that we live down the street from each other, but we're all having our own struggles.
Right.
So I told my husband that I've been in pageantry, I've been involved in the community, and I've always felt this desire to be involved, but I've never found that like real inner passion yet.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I'm supposed to share my story. So as of reading this book by Gaynell Condi, who's amazing, and it's called You're More Than Enough, You're Magnificent.
Yeah.
And in the book, she talks about Wonder Woman
I love
moments.
Gaynell, by the way. She's been on my podcast.
Oh, she's fabulous.
She's amazing.
We
love you.
We love you. She inspired me to... So it's been an inside joke through my family that people tease me that I look like Wonder Woman. They think... So I don't...
You
see
actually
it,
do, yeah.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
you
I
really
was
do.
fishing for that. No, I'm kidding. No. No, but it's like this joke because I don't see it, but I love it when people tell me. I'm like, I will soak that up all day.
You're like, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. No, and so I told my husband in this book that I can't explain that striking bolt moment where it was, this is what it's going to be called. It was so clear as day. It was such a spiritual experience for me. I was on the beach in Hawaii, a place of healing for me.
Yeah.
And it was so, because he took me on a trip after. He's like, we need to go on a trip together. He knows where I heal.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the beach and it said, every woman's a Wonder Woman. And I thought, oh, that's what I should call it.
Yeah.
My Wonder Woman journal. And I will share my journal entries and share my story. And it was that inspired action that cleared the path, which that's what Gabriella Bernstein says is inspired action clears the path.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. It took me to this place like, wait, every woman needs a journal. I'm going to create a journal.
Yeah.
And then the ripple effect of the path that it took me down all stemmed from Gaynell. Gaynell has really, I owe a lot of that to her, and we've connected, and she's amazing, and I thank her all the time, and I give her recognition. She's on my website where people can buy that book, but it was there that it took me to where I am today. So
wow, she's amazing, and but like attracts like, and so you must be amazing as well. And I mean that, and I love what you're doing, and I love that you're owning you're just very real and authentic about your situation. Like with your neighbor, had you not been real, you never would have had that connection or conversation.
Right.
She would have felt alone still.
Yeah.
You never would have known that what she tried to do.
Absolutely.
And so I think there, like you said, there's so much power in just being real. No, I drove myself to the hospital, mental hospital, and I had to deal with this and that, and excuse me.
Yeah.
But that was just being real at the same time, So I love that.
Yeah, that's where it all started, was when we own our story and ask God. That's what I felt. I'm like, hey, well, I have always said everything happens for a reason. What is this reasoning? Why? I used to just cry to my husband because I'm raising girls. And I'm like, why did you give me this brain? Why did you give me this brain? Why is this my path? Why did you give me girls? Why, I'm supposed to be all these things, but you gave me this brain. Why? And my husband, it made him cry. And he's like, I love your brain. I love your heart. And there's a reason for this. And I'm grateful for the journey. I'm grateful for every part of it. The pain, and it's just been great.
Turning the pain into passion.
Pain into passion, pain into purpose.
So let's talk about this My Wonder Girl journal, which I have in my hand here. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I've gone through it just, and I've obviously studied what you've written on your website and stuff. So really cool what you're doing. So explain what this is and why it's important, and then why journaling in general is important for overall mental health wellness.
Okay. So my first journal I ever created was the Wonder Woman journal.
Okay.
And when I was launching that, I was worried, okay, do I do prompts? Do I do this? And I was overthinking it. And I think that's where a lot of people get stumped in their journey is perfectionism.
For sure.
And I kept chanting to myself, perfectionism is the enemy. Just launch a journal. And guess what? You could create more if you want. And you could change it and print more. And the letting go of
that.
Perfectionism is your enemy. You feel called to something, go down that path. So I launched the Wonder Woman journal that's blank. And women would ask me, how do I start journaling? I don't know where to start. And I'd say, with your gratitudes. So I thought, hey, because I'm feeling creative, I'm going to create a gratitude journal with a little space at the bottom so people don't feel intimidated to write their Wonder Woman moments down. So I'll touch on what those are.
Yeah.
I deem Wonder Woman moments celebrating our wins for the day, the good.
The
good
stuff.
moments.
Yeah.
So whether that's, okay, I had a great day and this is why, to, hey, I even on my worst days, I was breathing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to celebrate the breath because I'm alive, to I did the dishes, to I did the laundry, to, hey,
love it.
The wins. So that's the perspective of the good. Embracing the hard is, I think, a huge Wonder Woman moment. I tell women, crying is not weakness. Having emotion is not weakness. I asked myself all the time, why did I choose to come to earth? I believe that I lived before. And why did I choose God's plan to come to earth and experience all this pain? And because it's through the pain that we connect with a higher being, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
We can't connect without experiencing the vice. We have to experience the bad to really appreciate the good. So that's why those both come into play. So crucial. And the funnies, I call them the funnies. Learning to laugh at ourselves is what I do. I make fun of myself all the time.
Well, yeah, that's what I love about you are funny, and you
Thank
talk
you.
about this when you make a mistake and you make fun of it, and I love it.
Like yesterday, I was searching everywhere for my So Delicious drink, and I didn't know where I put it. And I was walking in the front yard chasing my 2-year-old, and I looked to the right, and it was like in the flowers. I'm like, right, I was weeding, and I had it in my hand, and whatever, there it is. Like, I found it. It's all warm now, but like we just learning to laugh at ourselves. And the reason why it's so crucial to laugh is because usually when we're on the brink of breaking, it's the little things with the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes in those moments where I say I drove off with the gas pump in my car twice in 6 weeks. I know, at the same gas station. And it was funny because I just laugh. I'm just like, but then I sit there and try to relate to other women who might feel like shame, embarrassment, and cry. And feel like, of course this happened to me. Why am I losing my mind? And they shame. But I feel like in order to contradict shame is laughter and learning to laugh at ourselves through our mistakes instead of dwelling in our mistakes going, well, I just walked in the gas station. I said, hey, it's me again. And I said, oh, it just pops right back on. It's fine. I got this. We laugh about it and I make fun of myself and then we just move on. But instead of letting those moments break our back, learning to laugh helps lighten the load.
Yeah.
So I
couldn't agree more. We, one of my mentors, he's a therapist. He's now retired, but that was one of his things that he taught me is like helping your client laugh.
Yeah.
This is a real serious moment and you're really taking it so deep, but laugh at it. It's funny that we tell ourselves that we're no good. Where did that come from? And then we can laugh at it.
Awesome.
And it lightens the load. It gives you, it's almost like you take the power back when you do that.
Yes, and it gives you permission to be human.
Oh, I love that.
It gives you permission to be human. And what's so great is celebrating. You can't have toxic positivity because you need to embrace the hard. But in order to embrace the hard, you need to learn to laugh. So there's all these moving pieces.
Exactly.
But I've added on to the Wonder Woman moments with gratitude because I think gratitude brings perspective back. Embracing the hard laughter, but getting perspective of what you're grateful for kind of brings you back into all of it. And when I created the Wonder Girl journal, that was the next journal I created. We were in Hawaii for 8 weeks during COVID.
Okay.
And I told my girls I was scared to just snorkel the shore break. Like it made me very uncomfortable being in water. I'm used to the mountains here in Utah.
Right.
And I said, okay, girls, we're going to make a goal. We're going to step outside our comfort zones every day. And we're going to do something that makes us uncomfortable every day. And we celebrated each other. And I remember I started calling them Wonder Girls, and they'd be like, Mom, you're a Wonder Woman. I'm like, you're a Wonder Girl, And
awesome.
by the end of the summer, we were swimming ice. We were in a Waimea Bay. And there were dolphins about 150, 200 yards offshore.
Yeah.
We didn't even hesitate. I got my GoPro, got my snorkel gear. My daughter got a boogie board and her gear, and we swam 200 yards offshore and swam with a pod of dolphins. And it was magical. And it was this moment feeling grounded with the earth and connecting with nature and looking back at our journey, being like, when would I have ever swam that far offshore? And it was on the edge of our comfort zones where we find ourselves, where we push ourselves to be uncomfortable. So I added that on as a Wonder Woman moment because in our comfort zones, we're comfortable.
Yeah.
We don't learn or grow. We're content, but complacent. So pushing ourselves really helped us grow. And so I also added showing love and feeling love because a lot of times as girls, as humans, we show love the way we feel love, but not everyone feels the love we do.
Yeah, it's different.
So when we can recognize that and honor somebody else's love is different than ours, we will feel more love than we did because we see love in all aspects instead of just the way we show and see love.
Right. You have an example here. How did I show love today? Mm-hmm. And it's simple. I let my sister borrow my shirt. Yeah. Now I have 3 girls and a boy as well.
Oh, yeah.
And, girls sometimes tend to be like, hey, stay away from my clothes. Don't wear my clothes, that kind of thing. So I kind of laughed at that when I read that. I'm like, yeah. That's a good one. You know, it's a really good one.
Trusting your sister with your clothes at that age might seem silly to us as adults, but that's a true act of love. To be like,
it really is.
I will let you borrow this.
Yeah, can I borrow your shirt?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Simple little things. And that's what I love about this. It's simple, yet it's powerful stuff if we'll do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think that's what I tell the girls is our brain is a muscle. And that's why the prompts are the same every single day, because it's important that we train our brains to do the work.
Yeah, repetition deepens the impression.
Yeah, and we're gearing up for battle, because there will be hard days. We'll have good days, and know that, embrace those good days, because you're going to go down in the hard, and you're going to have hard days, and you're going to have good days. But it's when those good days to make sure to do the work, because we're gearing up for battle.
Yeah. I want to read something that you have in the introduction of your journal here, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
It says, my hope for you with this journal is to see the good, embrace the hard, learn to laugh, grow, and feel love, like we've been talking about. Sometimes your Wonder Girl moment may be just breathing, or that you got your homework done, right? Just, again, simple little things.
Yeah.
Write those wins down. This may sound backwards, but also include your difficult experiences and feelings, so you can look back at those moments and celebrate that you have survived 100% of life's storms.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, because I think, you know, I'll have a client here who's blown up his life. They've been in some of the stories you hear are horrific, and I'll say the same thing. But you're sitting here now.
Yeah,
like,
you're still alive.
You survived it. Think about all you've been through. Congratulations, you survived.
Yeah.
And it's just that little flip of perspective, and they go, "Oh my gosh, I never thought of it that way."
Yep.
So I love that
We've
have that
survived
in there. That really hit me when I read that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I'm still alive. I'm still here. And we shame ourselves by not being good enough, not doing enough.
Yeah.
And I tell women it's okay to be productive and ambitious, but don't disregard what you're doing. Don't let those things slip by without saying, wow, I did that. And that's some of the mundane things we do every day. You feed your family. Yeah. You get up out of bed. Don't worry about this. They have clean clothes, they're fed, and they love you no matter what.
Yeah. No, beautiful. I want to ask you this. Why are affirmations so important? And why is that part of this? Because you have a bunch of examples as well as some affirmations you can tell yourself. Why do you do those? I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how has that helped you?
I remember, I could ramble about this forever. I'll try to keep it concise.
No, you're good.
In therapy, my therapist said, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror every day and tell yourself that you are worthy and that you are loved, that you love yourself. I love you. And say, I love you. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. But I was told if you talk to yourself, you're kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm like, okay, I will put in the work. I will do the work. Okay. So I'd wake up in the morning, or if I'm driving in the car and I see myself in the rearview mirror at a stoplight, I'd say, you are worthy. I love you. And in those moments of shame, not feeling like I was worthy of my children's love, not worthy of my husband's love. The thoughts that were going through my mind when I drove myself to the behavior hospital and wanting to jump into oncoming traffic was, I'm not worthy. They are better off without me. I don't think my kids deserve me. They deserve a better mother. My husband deserves a better wife. And if I die, he could remarry a more loving, kind wife, and they'd be better off without me. And those were the real thoughts. So telling myself I'm worthy and I love me were huge. And I found myself in the days where I call them the rabbit holes. I started to go in the rabbit hole, and I said, wait, they love me. I'm worthy of their love. And I saw the work of doing an affirmation come into play. And I'll tell you why.
Love that.
I learned that the universe says yes. If you say you're ugly and you're stupid and you're not worthy, the universe says yes.
Yeah.
And God, I don't want to say God, because God doesn't believe that. But the universe, what we put out there, if we say I'm stupid, the universe says yes, you are. But if I say I am loved, I am worthy, I am passionate, I connect, and I am driven, and all the things I want to embody, the universe says yes. Yeah, so yes, beautiful. You are. Yeah. So that's why affirmations are so important. Even if you don't believe them, our brain is a muscle. Just like we go to the gym and we work on our biceps or our abs or our booty, whatever you work on. Our brain is a muscle. It's an organ.
Yeah.
So we need to work on that. It's disregarded so much as an organ, as a muscle. So we need to train our muscle to behave as such. And the universe says, yes. So how are you going to train your brain? How are you going to train your muscle? Yeah. We always focus, I need to lose weight. What about your brain? so much of it's between the ears.
Yeah.
So much of weight loss is between the ears. So much of everything is between the ears.
Sure is, isn't
so
it?
that's why affirmations. I like my friend said she wanted to do a reel with me this weekend because she goes, "Oh, I'm so stupid," and I yell, "What are you saying? What did you just say in front of me?" And she goes, "I'm smart. I'm so smart." And I said that would be a funny reel.
That would be funny.
And McKenna going, "What did you just say?"
What?
"I'm so smart. I am so smart."
Yeah. No,
I'm
that is so true, though. I love what you said there. The universe always says yes. I actually heard that a long time ago by a guy named Neil Donald Walsh, and he really preaches that a lot. Like, what you put out, the universe will give you exactly what you said. And it's like when you buy like a new car and then you notice the new car everywhere, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And it's like,
So
well, why
true.
do you notice it? Because you've got your focus is on the car.
Yes.
So if you're negative,
Yep.
you see all the negative.
Yep.
You have all the proof. And same with positive. If you have the positive, you see all the proof. So I'm so glad you pointed that out, that the universe always says yes. That is amazing.
So even if you don't believe it, we had retreat this last week and we came up with I am statements. And on Tuesday, I'm teaching a class on this. And I didn't make it up. My friend went through, what's it called? Impact training.
Oh, yeah.
Impact training.
Yeah.
And in there, they create these I am statements.
Yep.
And I'm going to teach these girls on I am statements. And I said, it was so hard for them. We can get into the inner child work we did. But what I was saying with affirmations is creating an I am statement, whether you believe it or not. What do you know you are? Okay, if you don't think anything positive of yourself, what do you want to embody?
Yeah.
And we tell the girls, we went around in a circle and each girl stood up and we yelled, "Lexi, who are you?" And the first time they say it.
Yeah.
And then we'd say, "Lexi, who are you?" And they acknowledge it.
So the whole group's saying it.
Yes.
Lexi,
who are you?
Yeah.
And she goes, and she says her I am statement. And by the third time, you claim it as your own.
Yeah.
And we yell all together, "Lexi, who are you? I'm a passionate, loving, light child of God," like anything that they are.
Yeah.
And we all say, "Yes, you are." And then she goes, "I am. Thank you." And it is so powerful. By the third time, every girl is crying because they're claiming it. I am this.
Yeah.
And it's powerful.
Dang. I
It's
love that.
really, really powerful.
What do you call that?
An I am statement. Creating an I am
Well,
statement.
an I am statement,
Claiming your I am statement.
connection exercise.
Yes.
Because that's what you're doing. The whole room, I'm visualizing this in my head, like this just group
powerful.
of people just,
Yeah.
and you can feel the energy. And
Well,
then,
the day before we started retreat, this is the inner child work.
Uh-huh.
We asked each girl to write in their journal every negative thing they've said about themselves, the worst things they've ever said to themselves.
Right.
And then we all had they sent in their submission a childhood picture of themselves. So my partner created this really beautiful thing with them with their childhood picture.
Oh, cool.
So then we partnered them up and we had them all. And again, we didn't make up this exercise, but I saw it done somewhere and I thought this is going to be very powerful to do in this group of women. And we asked them to exchange pictures with their partner and to say ones for hold up for twos. And now go to your journal and say that everything you just wrote down to your inner child picture.
Ooh.
I had to walk out of the room. It was really hard for me to listen because
yeah.
it was so hard to listen. I was in the kitchen going, that was hard to listen to watch.
Yeah.
And the girls are just crying and explain to them that you still are that child. That is you. Would you ever say that to your child?
Right.
Everything you say is to that child that's inside of you.
Yeah.
It was so powerful. What wolf do you feed? And the first day we say, okay, why embracing the heart is important is because it's not to run away from the bad wolf. Because you're saying, what wolf do you feed? And you have the good wolf and the bad wolf. Which one survives in the fight? It's the one you feed, right?
Yeah, right.
So the first day we say, it's not feeding that wolf, but acknowledging the wolf, facing it head on and training it and saying, I honor you and you're here and I'm not going to run from you because you'll chase me.
Wow.
So I'm going to learn to sit with you and acknowledge you.
Like that.
But the second date retreat was feeding the good wolf. How do we acknowledge and honor that wolf that's bad, that gives us all the negative self-talk? It's not going to go away, but we can't run from it. So that's what embracing the heart is. And celebrating the good in the wins is feeding the good wolf.
Wow. Very well said, McKenna.
Thank you.
I love that. What age groups do you typically do with this? Is it any age group? Is it adults?
Adult.
Is it both?
We have every age. I mean, as an adult, I want to run retreats mother-daughter, but I haven't stepped into that yet. But the retreats are anywhere from, mid to late 20s to 60s, late 60s.
Wow.
Grandmothers come.
Yeah,
We always have like a matriarch of the group that's always there.
Yeah, right on.
But we have every age. But what's crazy about it is women in the circle creating a space of safety and trust and celebration, where we tell women it's a retreat rule. You are not here to give permission to somebody else unless you ask for it. Our journey here is to honor the space and that you're here for you. And we're going to create a space of safety and trust. So women, when you create and celebrate and rally around people, like there was a woman who husband is having an affair on another woman. But what we tried to orchestrate, so we're not going to bash the husband. We're not going to bash the other woman. We're going to love on her. And we're going to honor that we are here to embody and infuse you with love and safety. And she told us that we saved her at the end of retreat.
Wow.
That we saved her because she felt safe.
Right.
And I think as women in society, we need to feel safe.
Absolutely. Wow. So beautiful. You know, you've already given some amazing advice. You've shared your story. You've been vulnerable. So thank you. If there's someone listening to you right now who's just in a dark place, not sure what to do, or they know a friend or whatever.
Yeah.
What could you tell them, right? That one person right now who's just feeling like I'm lost. I don't know if I can move on.
Yeah. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And I felt that, and they're not alone. I get goosebumps when you say that because I feel that emotion deeply, and I don't ever want to lose that moment because I think that's how we connect, is again honoring that wolf and not to run from it. I would tell that person that you don't need to change who you are to be a Wonder Woman. You don't need to change who you are to be who you need to be.
Wow.
You have all the tools inside of you, and you have all resources around you to help you become who you're meant to be.
Right.
But don't ever think you have to change who you are.
Yeah.
Because in me, I always thought I needed to change who I was. I needed to be quiet. I needed to calm down. I needed to silence myself because I was too much. But silencing that only festered in depression and anxiety because I wasn't honoring who I was.
Yeah.
And I just want people to know that you don't need to appease everybody to be happy. You need to make yourself happy. And don't worry about other people being comfortable. I know that 1,000% where I feel comfortable on my page to be myself is to know that I'm not for everybody and that that's okay.
Yeah.
And that I might bug other people and that's okay. And I don't take offense. I'm triggering them in some way. And I can't. I respect that, and to know that it's okay to say you're not for everybody, but you are who you're meant to be, and that you don't need to change who you are, because the people, when you embody and embrace healing and who you are, the right people come into your life when they're needed. But you can't, God knows you're not ready until you accept and acknowledge who you are. And when you do that, people will come. I lost everybody. I shouldn't say everyone, but I felt isolated and alone.
Sure, yeah.
But God put the people in my life and he goes, okay, she's ready.
Wow.
And that's when you know you're going to heal.
That's powerful. That's, again, very well said. And I love what you said. As soon as you embrace who you are and this and that, the right people will come into your life.
Yes.
And I've noticed that in my past and stuff that I've been through in my darkest days, and in those moments when I finally was like there, the right people showed up, and it's amazing how that works, you know? It truly is. That. Yeah, I love that. I got goosebumps as you were saying that. Is so powerful.
Me too. That was powerful. Thank you.
Man, this is wonderful. I love talking to you, Wonder Girl. Right. Yes.
It's been great.
If people want to reach out to you and they want to buy this journal, they want to, sign up for one of your retreats,
Absolutely.
or just to ask you a question and get to know you better, what's the best way for them to do that?
So all the journals and information on retreats and my story and the blog is all on mywonderwomanjournal.com. Okay. But on Instagram, I get messages daily. Just know I am a safe space.
Yeah.
Everything you share with me, I keep anonymous, and I've helped people find resources in the UK to New Zealand, to Alaska, to Hawaii, and that you can message me on my Wonder Woman Journal on Instagram.
Yeah.
And cool. I'm just there to bounce, just to help you feel like you're not alone in those moments of when you're embracing the hard, that I'm there for you. Yeah. And on Wednesdays, I bet 1 or 2 Wednesdays a month, we have Wonder Woman Wednesday. And why it's so powerful is that I give women permission, and men, I've had men involved as well, to honor their Wonder Woman moments. And that's such a powerful day where women can feel like they're not alone.
Yeah.
And that they can be celebrated, and we can embrace them and uplift them and know that they're not alone.
Right.
And that they're safe.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's fantastic. And by the way, folks, if you go to her Instagram page, which you need to do, it's not boring. It really is. At times it's very entertaining what you do. And people just need to go experience it. I'm like, man, this woman's amazing.
You're really sweet.
You get people laughing, you get people crying, and then you're real and serious at the same time.
Mental health is tricky.
Yeah, but it's just a
right?
good mix you got there going. It's not. People think mental health, that sounds really boring
or heavy.
It's like, do I really want to? No, go to her Instagram, and you.
I'm glad you feel that way, because I tell my husband all the time, I think I'm hysterical. I think I'm funny, but then I'm like, I don't know if other people do, but it's been a safe place for me to embrace it. So I'm glad other people are laughing with me.
I was watching one of your reels, and I'm on my phone and I'm with my family. I'm just busting up. And they're like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "Oh, you guys got to watch this. This is amazing."
Oh, that makes me feel good.
So I love the
good.
way you carry yourself and the way you do all that.
Thank you so much.
But no, it's been so great to have you here today.
Thank you
McKenna.
for having me. This has been great. I knew we were going to have great conversation, because you're
too.
amazing.
Oh, thank
and you're doing amazing things. And it truly was an honor to have this conversation and be on your podcast. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for saying those kind words. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad we've connected.
Me too.
We've got mutual friends.
We do.
Gaina Lynn, we love you.
We love you.
You're the best.
We do love
right?
her.
She's amazing.
She is.
But
Talk about making ripples, waves.
I know. And it's just going to keep going. So I'm so glad that you shared this. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah. So, hey, everybody, there you go, man. I told you, another amazing guest. Please reach out to McKenna. Check her out on her Instagram and get this journal. And I want a little plug, this is awesome. If you have girls in your family, nieces, nephews, or I guess not nephews, but I guess nephews can do them too, right?
That's in the works for boys as well.
Yeah, because there should be one.
There should be one for boys.
This is amazing, and I ordered this about a month ago, I think, when I reached out to you. Yeah, so anyway, it's awesome. Please reach out to her. Ask her any questions. She's an open book, as you can tell. Very real.
Thank you.
And if she doesn't have the answer, she'll guide you to the right person. And so, anyway, it's so amazing.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. And McKenna, all the best of luck. And I'm here to help you any way that I can.
And right back at you, too. I'm glad we've connected.
All right. Till next time, guys. Thank you for joining in.